Welcome. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at this iSpring Reverse Osmosis drinking water system. So if you'd like to purchase one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description, and if you use that link it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So I do want to say I did purchase this with my own money and I have no association with iSpring. Now I've done a video on a similar system. This is the RCC7AK BN. I did a video on the RCC7D BN. The differences between those two systems is this has an alkaline remineralization filter and the other one has a deionization filter. Otherwise the systems will pretty much be the same. So the other system created deionized water for like cleaning or humidification. This creates water for drinking. So let's get this open. So we have a QR code here on the box with videos on installation. And then here we have the different components. We also have the instructions. So I'll get this stuff out of this main box onto my bench. So there are quite a few components here. Let's start off with the instructions. Now I'm not going to cover everything in here. You'll want to read through it on your own. We have a sticker, warranty card, a sticker for tracking filter changes, a warranty pamphlet. Here we have an installation diagram. So let's open this up. Now this is going to have instructions for lots of different models. So this is the RCC7AK and the RCC7D. Now I have an RCC7D, that's deionization system, and this is the system with remineralization. So this kind of shows how everything is connected up, and we have more diagrams on the back. Then we have the instruction manual. Now this is also for the RCC series, so this is going to apply to the different products they have. So we have user information in here, shows the different parts, the different cartridges. Then we have installation instructions. So this can usually just fit right into your existing kitchen plumbing. The faucet has multiple different mount methods, so you can mount it in the counter. Has two different methods there, or you can actually mount it to a wall. So it has a bracket for that. So a reverse osmosis system needs to be connected up to your drain. So this shows how to do that. So there's a saddle valve that goes on your drain. Has O-rings that go on the filter cartridges. This talks about connecting the tubing. This has a leak stop system. So this is a valve and it has a pad, and when the pad gets wet, it expands and shuts off the water. More install instructions. And it just talks about add-ons, accessories, glossary, etc. Now there is a startup process in here. Here we go, system startup. So you'll need to flush certain parts of the system. So when you set this up, you'll need to go through that. So I'll get these boxes unboxed so we can go through them. So this box is the pressure tank. So RO is a slow process. So in order to make it work faster, it has a storage tank. So it will fill up this tank, and then when you go to use the tap, it will dispense water from this. So there's a stand, and here's the tank. So this tank will need to be pressurized. I think it's around 8 psi. There's a valve to do that on the front, so this unscrews and there's a Schrader valve like a bicycle to inflate it. This has the different cartridges. So we have a carbon filter. This is CTO, so this is chlorine, taste, and odor. This is the GAC filter. This is a carbon filter also. And this is the PP, the polypropylene sediment filter. So those each have their own container or canister. This box also has the hoses, which are color-coded. And I said hoses, that's actually tubing, would be more accurate. Now this will be the component that we're going to put the cartridges on. This is also going to have the other components. So here we have the RO membrane. We have a polishing filter, so this is another carbon filter. So if it gets any like plasticky taste in through the system, this will take that out. And then the last step is the remineralization. So this is the alkaline filter. So this puts minerals back in your water, since the RO process will take those out. This here is just a spacer, there's nothing in it. Let's get the last package open here. Now I do want to say that I'm not a plumber or a water expert. I'm just sharing my experience here. So this has the RO membrane, saddle valve. This is the leak detector. We have extra O-rings. This is the valve that supplies water, so you connect this into your plumbing in your kitchen. These are screws and clips, so those are screws to connect this to like the inside of a cupboard. We have Teflon tape, bracket, and we have some different T-fittings. We have a removal tool. We also have the valve for the expansion tank. This is a filter wrench, and in this bag we're going to have our tap. If I can get it open. Here we go. So this has the brushed nickel tap on it. There. So this is off, and this is on. We have instructions, and we have some different mounting plates for this. So I can get some of this assembled here on my bench. Now I'm going to go wash my hands before I put all this together. Okay, so I'll get this part out. You want to be careful if you're using a knife to cut any of this open. You don't want to cut into the components. So these membranes are connected on with these clips so they can just pop right off here. They also use these push to connect fittings. This has 2 pieces of plastic on the side we can dispose of. And now we can start fitting these on. So first we'll do polypropylene. So I'll drop this in here. Now before we screw this on, we want to make sure that the O-ring is seated in here, and then we can screw this on. We might need to kind of hold this up so it doesn't get bound. Okay, so I'll just do that hand tight for now. I'll go to the next one. Now on the GAC filter, we're going to have a rubber gasket on top, so we want to make sure that stays on top. Same thing, we'll check the gasket. Looks good. I'll install this, and we'll do the final filter. Now the polypropylene and the CTO filter can go in either direction. So I'll install that on. Okay, so I have all 3 filters installed. I'll take the wrench and I'll tighten them down. So these labels will all be kind of directed towards the front. I don't know if they'll all be completely toward the front, but we'll get these on. About like so. Okay. Okay, so those are installed. Next I'll install the RO membrane. So I find it easiest just to take this off. So this bag has a little tool. This is for the quick disconnect fittings. So I can disconnect this. I'll pull this little clip out. I'll place the tool on here and I'll press in. And I can remove this tubing. I'll do the same on the other end. And I'll pop these 2 top cartridges off. So I can pull off the reverse osmosis membrane. Now I can open this up. It's a little tight for me, so I'll use the wrench. There we go. I'll get the RO membrane. Now you don't want to touch this. I'll place this in here till it's seated. Put the cap back on. And I'll tighten it down. Now I can install this back on the filter. So I'll click this on. And I'll reconnect these fittings. They just press in. This one has a little line on it. I'll press it in. Then I'll install the clip to retain it. Next, let's move to the expansion tank. So I'm going to want the plumber's tape, and we have this valve here. So this has on and off. I'll turn it off. So we want to do 10 to 15 wraps of plumber's tape around this. So we want this to go clockwise. So you want the tape in this orientation. I'll place it on here, and you want to make sure you're not covering up the top. You can see in this orientation I can feed it tape but keep it tight also. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'll break that off, and now I can thread this on. Okay, that seems good and tight. Let's look at the supply valve. So this has an adapter on it. This is gasketed, so you shouldn't need tape on here. You just need to tighten it down. So this will go in line with your cold water supply. Now this can rotate within this plastic, so I can't really do it with my hands, but if you have a wrench on here, you can rotate this, which you may need to do if you need to point this a certain direction. So I will close this. So once I put it on, it's not spraying water on me. This has the same kind of push fitting, so we'll get that connected up later. Here's the saddle valve. So we're going to want to drill a hole. It has this piece of foam. We'll take the middle out. We don't need that. And this will go on the pipe, and then the saddle valve will go over that. So this is backwards right now. So the screw heads will go in from the side where the tube goes in. Of course, I'll have to put this around the pipe, but the nuts will go on the back side. There's a little recess for them there. So that will clamp down on the drain pipe. Then of course we have the different tubing. So you want to use the different colors for the different parts specified in the manual. So I think that's all I'm going to go over on my bench here. I'm going to go clear out from under my sink so I can get this installed. Okay, so here we are under my sink. Now I don't have a ton of room to film here. I currently have a different style filter, and that connects in with this fitting. So this will actually fit in line here. And I have this little adapter hose. I think that came with some other component, but you may need to get some fittings to hook all this up. Now I can't reuse this because this is a main faucet filter, so this sends clean water to my cold water. So I'm going to go back to regular unfiltered tap water from my main water, and we'll have the RO here instead. So I'm going to work on getting this installed, and I may cut in here and there to show different parts. Okay, so I have the valve installed. Now I've turned the water on. This valve is off, but I've turned the main water supply on, and I'm going to check for leaks. I'll just leave this on while I'm installing it. So it's a good time to just test this now because you'll have other places to test for leaks later. So I took the drain off to install the saddle valve. I don't have a lot of access there. And before I put it back, I'll actually put the black tubing in here. Now you want to cut an angle on that before you insert it. And that will actually just peek through the pipe. So now I'll get this installed back on the drain system. Okay, so we're on top of the sink. Now I have a hole here already that had a soap dispenser in, so I took the soap dispenser out and we're going to install the faucet there. So I'm going to want to use the large washer. It has a rubber gasket on it, and that will fit in here like so. And then under the sink I'll put this on and this on. So I'll put that on like this and I'll tighten that down. And this just has the 1/4 inch fitting on the bottom, and there'll be a press fit connector that goes on there. Okay, so I have all the components hooked up. I have all the tubes connected, so I connected the blue line to the faucet. The red is from the supply. Black is going to the saddle valve for the drain, and I have yellow over here on the expansion tank. Now before I hook other things up, I'm going to go over to the expansion tank here, and I'll inflate this between 7 and 10 psi. So I just have this portable inflator here. I'll connect it up. Probably can't see this on camera, but it's at 5.5 psi. So I'll inflate it to 8. Now I can get the cartridges in here and connect up all the lines. Okay, so I've installed the cartridges. Now it's recommended that this actually sits on a surface, so this is sitting on the bottom of the cabinet. And then I put 2 screws in and slotted these in. This can just lift off here. It's not super tight, but that'll keep it from tipping forward. So that's pretty secure. Now I'm going to hook everything up, and I'm going to go through the manual, and I'm going to flush the cartridges. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the reverse osmosis, and I'm going to flush the system with these cartridges on, and I'll probably flush it either to the faucet or to the waste line, and I'll do that until it runs clear. And after that I'll connect up the reverse osmosis and I'll flush it. Now one thing I want to point out, when I did mount this, I do have to take this off to actually take the filters off, which is not a big deal. Like I said, it just slides up. Now this can kind of flop around. You can just kind of fold it on itself and it will be fine. So for the water connections, the input here, the red will go in here, the wastewater will go here, the faucet will go up here, and the expansion tank will go here. Now it does come with an elbow here. I may put one of these here because this is kind of like pointing out towards the door. I may get another elbow here if I want to reroute this a little bit. It also comes with a fitting so you can hook this up to an ice maker. So my fridge is on the other side of my kitchen, and I may run one through the basement to it someday. Okay, so I disconnected the line on the other side that is opposite this, so it's on the back side, and I connected up to the blue, which is this, so I plugged this in there, and I ran it until it was clear, and that filled up all these lower compartments. Now I have everything connected up as it's supposed to be, so I have the water line going in here, expansion tank here, faucet, and then the wastewater going here. So the expansion tank off to the left is closed, and I have the faucet open. So it's currently filling up the RO membrane, it's going to fill up the polishing filter and the remineralization, and actually I just heard it start to flow, and that's going to flow very slowly. So I'll let that run for a half hour. Then I'm going to turn the tank on. So there's a valve on top of the tank. I'll turn that on and I'll let that fill up and I'll let that flush maybe for another half hour. So this is all the water that I have coming out of here right now. That's why you have the expansion tank. This filters very slowly. I can move this here a little bit. So without that expansion tank, this is all the faster your RO water is produced. Now, once this is flushed for a half hour, I'll flush the expansion tank for the half hour, and then it will fill up, and then I'll have good pressure. So I'll actually let the expansion tank fill up and flush it a couple times. Now, after that, you're mostly done. It says to check it for leaks daily for 2 weeks, and I'm not going to put the leak detector down there until after that, just in case I find a leak. And I also have an electronic leak detector I'll put under here also. I actually had a garbage disposal leak recently, and I wish I had a detector under there, so I'll put one under. So that's the iSpring RCC7AK Reverse Osmosis Water System. So this is a 6-stage system. You have the 3 pre-filters, you have the RO membrane, polishing filter, and remineralization. You'll want to read through the manual to see the schedule for replacing these out. It's like 6 or 12 months, and then the RO membrane will last a little longer than that. I found this pretty easy to install. Probably the more difficult parts is you have to drill a hole in the sewer, but a lot of it is these push fittings. I did have to thread it onto my water supply, but otherwise it was pretty straightforward if you can do basic plumbing. For instance, if you're a kind of person that can replace a faucet, this shouldn't be too tricky. Now you can also get a TDS meter, which you can use to test your water, and that's a pretty good idea because that can give you a good idea of when your RO membrane needs to be replaced. So you'd want to test it regularly, so if you notice a change in TDS or total dissolved solids, that you need to change that filter. So I'm going to insert this little clip. So I was just talking about TDS. I have my TDS meter. Let's actually measure this. So I'll check out the tap water first. And I don't know if this is coming through on camera, but it's at 171. I'll rinse this out with the RO water. Here we have the iSpring RO water. And we're at about 22 parts per million. Now we are taking minerals out, but we're also adding it back in with remineralization. So it went to what was 160 to 22. Now with both of these, the tap water and the RO water, if you flush it for a bit, that number might go down. So when you first turn this on, it might have higher minerals than if you leave it running a little bit. But this gives you a general idea of the total dissolved solids in the tap and the RO water. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.